Hello there. Thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and boy, what a sweet, cute, colorful, lovely, just really cool concert poster from before the Beatles were ever known in America. The summer of 1963 in England, and they were a touring act very much, hitting seaside resorts and everything. And this is just a small, real authentic concert poster from when they were just one act on a multi-artist bill, but certainly the headliners. And you just gotta love it. You just gotta love those colors, pink and yellow and everything. I think it's just outstanding. Now at this time, the Beatles had both the #1 album and #1 single in the country, but once the Beatles hit with Please Please Me, pretty much from that point onwards, you can almost always say the Beatles had the #1 single and album in the country, but this was sort of like at the front of the wave, so that's really a cool aspect of it. I assume From Me to You, by the way, was the #1 single because She Loves You was still 1 month away from release. But, you know, I just love this early innocence. If I could go back to any time in Beatles history and you know, just exist and go see them and do whatever, meet them or whatever, personally I would pick the first 6 to 8 months of 1963. That's always been my very favorite part because the frenzy was building, but there was no Beatlemania yet. That's right, the term was coined in October and really boosted by the She Loves You single, which came out and hit, as I said, August, September. So, you know, you had this momentum building and this love for the Beatles, but they were still available, I should say accessible, maybe at the stage door, and available for autographs. And in fact, how innocent were the Beatles still at this period? Right here at this poster, July 22nd, actually it's a week of dates. 6 dates, commencing on July 22nd, 1963. I'll zoom in just a moment. So that means they ended this week's run on Saturday, July 27. Well, of course, they're evening shows. So what were the Beatles doing on that day, Saturday, July 27th? They were posing for pictures like this. Oh, well-known Diesel Hoffman photo session with those old-style bathing suits, the Beatles down at the beach, huh? Yeah, at Weston Beach. And also riding go-karts. You know, scurrying around on go-karts and Diesel Hoffman taking their pictures. Remember, if you're a first-gen Beatle fan, remember the bubblegum cards, the black and white ones we would buy at the store, and, you know, there's Beatles and go-karts and their autographs stamped onto the bubblegum cards. So, you know, well, here's a concert poster equivalent from those fun, early, naive, innocent days. So that's really cool. Okay, now, as I promised, here's a little top-to-bottom scan. Actually, I'll get to the venue information on the top there. This is a tour blank of sorts. The acts changed around a little bit and stuff, so it's not a unique layout by any means, and the information that changed regularly was between the yellow boxes up there at the top, and actually sometimes the times changed as well. But as you can see, it says Weston-Super-Mare was a seaside resort in southwest England below Wales. And as you can see, the Odeon Theatre, it says they're commencing Monday, July 22nd, 1963, twice nightly, 6:15 and 8:30. And by the way, if you're wondering what the Beatles sounded like, I just showed you what they look like this week. What they sounded like, well, the previous Thursday, 4 days before the first date of this, they recorded 4 cover versions in the studio, all for their upcoming album with the Beatles. And that would be Money, Devil in Her Heart, Till There Was You, and You've Really Got a Hold on Me. So wow, that's just great stuff, obviously. So moving down the bill a little bit, hey, it was a great time for Jerry and the Pacemakers too. Let's not forget about them, for heaven's sake. They were keeping pace, if you will, with the Beatles. 2 #1 smashes thus far. #1's I Like It, which is on the poster, right above Jerry there, see that? And How Do You Do It, which most of us are familiar with too, because the Beatles recorded How Do You Do It. And Jerry and the Pacemakers were also managed by Brian Epstein, but they had their next single, You'll Never Walk Alone, was also #1, so they were really cooking with gas at this point, there's no doubt about it. But alas, they would tail off in 1964 and be gone by 1965. And then below Jerry and the Pacemakers, look at that, you got a slug of 5 acts, and basically it's probably just typical tourist fare. This was a seaside resort, after all. And you know, you got yourself a comedian as the MC, and a male-female vibraphone act, and Tommy Quickly here, he was the only one that just grazed the British top 40 for about 5 minutes with one record. And otherwise it's just, you know, local people and stuff like that to fill out the bill. Can you imagine, though, being a Beatles fan and going to one of these shows in July of '63, and with a #1 single and album in the country, believe me, there were plenty of intense Beatle fans, just like you and me now, there to see the Fabs. And can you imagine going to this show and having to sit through 6 acts before, including an MC telling jokes? You'd just be dying in your seat saying, God, get it over with. I want to, you know, want the Beatles to come out. But, you know, that's just all part of the innocence and fun of the early days. And I guess to quote Jerry and the Pacemakers about that, I like it. Yeah, I really do, and I like this poster a lot too. So anyway, great fun showing it to you. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and we'll see you next time for something else. Have a good one. Bye-bye.